Hello! Today Ed will assemble the top of the windmill tower and attach it to the main tower. First, assemble some more gears, starting with 3 small gears for a planetary gear assembly. The gears are made up of 3 pieces on each side attached to a base. Here is Lakenath to help. Note that one side is longer than the other. Both ends are held together with small rings. Next, assemble a long beam. Collect 3 pieces in a ring. This will feel rather flimsy until it is added to the main gear. I think Lakenath is waiting for his dinner. Next, build 2 longer gears. Again, 3 pieces are inserted into a ring. Make sure they all face the same direction. Then, add a ring down to the second indentation and twist it. Some wax may help. Add the second ring down to the first indentation and twist. The secondary pieces should now fit through the holes in the rings. Ed found it easiest to get all 3 secondary pieces at least partially in and then push them completely in. Finally, add a ring to the other side of the gear. Repeat for the second gear. This looks interesting. Let's put it together. First, add the 3 small gears to the base plate. Make sure the long end goes through the plate. Next, add the outer ring gear. There are arrows to make sure the gears and ring are oriented correctly. It may take several tries. Well, that didn't work. Ed finally succeeded by adding 1 gear at a time, inserting each into the base plate after fitting it to the ring gear. Turn the assembly over and insert 3 pieces to lock the bigger gears in place. Test the gear by turning the outer ring. Now, add the long beam and a gear to lock it in place. Test the assembly. Add another set of small gears. These lock the central gear in place. Test again. Add a somewhat triangular piece to the long beam about halfway down. Next, add a disc with indentations on top of the triangular piece. Add 3 small comma-shaped pieces into the indentations. Then add a large disc piece around the disc with indentations. Finally, add another triangular piece over these pieces to complete the ratchet. Make sure everything still turns. And Lakenath is back. He probably wants some water. Add 3 small rings to the end of the beam. And add some wax. Then insert a rotating disc over the rings. Give this one more series of tests to make sure everything rotates. Next, we'll insert this gear assembly into a frame. Orient the assembly so the long beam faces the direction of the arrows on the ring. Cat interruption. Push the slots into the ring as far as they will go. Then add a second plate, aligning the holes with assembly base plate. Push the plate away from the gears. Put a rubber band on the two long gears with a half twist. The band goes in front of both gears on the short side. Place the two gears in the holes on the top of the main gear. Move the gear assembly toward the other plate while keeping the long gears in place. This will probably have to be done gradually. Lake and Ape is trying to help. Without thumbs. You're blocking the view, Lake and Ape. Thank you. Finally, after the gears fit snugly, add two small posts to lock them in. Now it's time to add some nylon line. This is not provided in the kit. Measure out 25 centimeters, double it, and cut. Insert the loop end through a hole in the ring. Then insert the two loose ends through the loop and pull tight. Next, insert the two loose ends in the hole on the other side. Pull the line tight. Loop and knot the line twice. Half hitches, I think. Check the instructions. Cut off the excess. Repeat on the other side. Another symmetric arrangement. Let's turn it into a base platform. Start by taking an arch piece and inserting an eye-shaped piece at one end. Place a sloped rectangle in a side slot and attach a second arch. The sloped pieces will fit loosely until anchored on the base ring. One problem with a pretty symmetric arrangement: it takes up a lot of Ed's workspace. Repeat by connecting each arch and rectangular piece with an eyepiece until the circle is complete. The sloped pieces keep falling out. Done! Next, add a hook to each of the 6 O-shaped pieces. Push each piece into the center of an eyepiece in the ring. Next, put the whole assembly on the large ring. Some wax may be useful. Ed pushes the sloped rectangles in first, both because they're going into larger holes and they're more loosely tied to the rest of the ring. Keep pressing until all of the pieces are in as far as they can go. Next, put the top gear assembly on the base. Line up 2 sets of arrows on the top and bottom large rings. This is the front of the tower. Then start pushing in the pieces. Once they are all in, add hook pieces to secure the base to the top. Next, add 3 pairs of long posts into the bottom ring, at the front and every other section. A small ring goes on each post. These should be sanded and waxed so they can rotate around the post. Finally, add 3 sets of shorter posts to the other 3 sections of the bottom ring. took 3 tries for Ed to get this right. The first time, he didn't line up the 2 rings correctly. Disassembly required. When he reassembled, he put the gear in upside down. More disassembly. Finally, success! Now it's time to put this assembly on the main tower. There are 4 posts inside the cage that go into 4 slots in the lower ring. This takes some patience to line up and push in. You also need to make sure the top gear meshes with the main gear and the long posts with rings fit inside the cage. After the pieces are connected, slowly rotate the main gear to make sure the top gear rotates. You may have to go back and forth a few times to work out any rough spots. There! The majority of the windmill is built. Now, it's a matter of adding some more strings and, of course, the blades. Thank you for joining. We'll be back soon with the final assembly. See you then.